So, am I audible to you all? So, hello everyone. Am I audible? Okay. So, shall we start now because meeting has already started and it will. You have. I think you have next class. You have next class also of Harita Manani. So, shall we start now? Okay. So, see, last class we have studied what is divergence theorem, what is curl, and what is gradient. So, I hope everybody was familiar with the term, and I have given one example to you. I have solved an example, and I have given one homework to you. So, I hope everybody has solved this. So, now in this class, will go. We will see what is Gauss divergence theorem. Gauss divergence theorem. So, from Gauss divergence theorem, one question is always coming in the IES paper or in the gate or in RT. Every time one question is there from this Gauss divergence theorem, and and this concludes for 8 to 10 marks. The question is so descriptive type, and you need to solve all these problems. So you so it is actually it is not tough. It is very simple. So you just have to आपको बस समझना है और मेरे साथ रहना है और कुछ नहीं. जितना मैं एक एक करके धीरे धीरे समझाता जा रहा हूँ उसको बस समझते जाइए. You will get this Gauss divergence theorem. So let's start. What is first of all we will know what is Gauss divergence theorem. So basically Gauss divergence theorem explains the relationship between volume integration and surface integration. So what does it tells? It tells the relation between volume integration and surface integration. So when I was teaching you Maxwell equation, I told you that I was applying the Gauss divergence theorem directly there, and from that the equation, the surface form is changed into that surface form is changed into dV form, that in volume form. So at that time you were thinking that ये कैसे हो जा रहा है. So now I will show you by solving in the step by step. So you just need to pay attention for those because this is the most important topic. After this is the most important and complicated topic in this EMFT. So if you'll understand this, you'll understand all the other things which will come later. So so what does Gauss divergence theorem tells? It is basically tells the relation between what is the volume integration and the surface integration, and it also used to see the location of source and sink. By this Gauss divergence theorem, we can find the location of source and sink. Sink means you can find it, you can say destination. So it means that let's suppose you have a system and you need to identify from where the identify the source. And if I have a system, if suppose I have some closed loop system, this one, and you are not aware of the fact that where is your starting point, where is your source point. So based on the Gauss divergence theorem, you'll find your source, and after that it will help you to find the sink also, means the destination. This is where does the system end. So it helps you to find source and sinks of any system, source and sinks of any system. So it also explains the rate of change of function with respect to position. So I told you, means I suppose what I had given one example last day. One example I had added to you, that one tank is there, one room is there, and if air conditioner is there here, so based on the position, the temperature will vary in that room. So according to Gauss divergence theorem also, it will explain you the rate of change of function with respect to position. How the function is changing in that particular room with respect to position, that will be told by Gauss divergence only. So three things we can conclude from this Gauss divergence theorem, that it is used to explain the relationship between surface integration and volume And second part, it is used to find any in any system. If you wanted to find the source of that system or sink of any system, you will apply Gauss divergence theorem and you will get that particular source and sink of the system. And the third case, according to the Gauss divergence theorem, you will find the rate of change of function with respect to position of the system. So if the rate so if the rate of the function is increasing with respect to position, then it will be the source. Means I'll tell you one more. Let me remove it. So it not only it will tell you the rate of change of function with respect to position. If the rate of change of function is increasing, if the rate of change of function is in increasing order, so it will tell you this is the source. If the rate of the function of this source is in decreasing or it is in the negative, if it is a positive part, it will tell you the source. If the rate of the change of the function will decrease or if it will be in negative side, then it will be the sink side, means the destination point. So based on that, how you will find source and how you will find sink. If the rate of change of function is increasing with respect to its position, then it must be the source. It will be source. If the rate of change of function will decrease with respect to its position, one can say that that is sink. So basically, Gauss divergence is a flux density which explain you how much flux is entering or leaving the source or sink. So one more part of the Gauss divergence theorem is that it is a flux density. So it will tell you, it will explain you how much flux is entering or how much flux is leaving the source or sink. So see, suppose this if the arrow is like this, like this, like this, so it means that the flux is entering, and we'll call that sink. You just need to learn this basic part. I will apply all this basic part in the coming problem. So just focus on the basic part. If you are facing any difficulty, you can ask in between. And if suppose this is our object, and if the arrow is like outside direction, so we'll call it as source. So this will be our source. So based on Gauss divergence theorem, so basically it is a flux density. It is a flux density which explain you how much flux is entering or how much flux is leaving. This is what flux is entering and this is what flux is leaving. If you'll find, this is an object, this is an object. So four point which I've concluded from Gauss divergence theorem is that it explains the relationship between volume integration and surface integration. It will use to see the location of source and sink. If it will identify which one is source and which one is sink. It will explain, third part is that it will explain the rate of change of function with respect to its position, how the position is varying. It will tell you the rate of change of how the rate of change of function is changing according to that. So if the rate of change of function is increasing with respect to its position, we'll call it as a source. And if the rate of function will decrease with respect to its position, we call it as a sink. And last point which we conclude from this Gauss divergence theorem is it is a flux density which explains how much flux is entering or leaving any source or sink. So I think now you are clear with the fact that what is source and sink, and now after that I will solve a problem and I will show you. So you are clear with the basic part, why Gauss divergence theorem is used. So you can, if somebody will ask to you, can you explain to them? Is it clear to you? Or if you are facing any difficulty, you can ask. After that, I'll show you the formula for the Gauss divergence theorem, and after that we will solve a problem. So if you are facing any difficulty in the basic part of Gauss divergence theorem, you can ask me. So is this clear to you, which I have told you, which just now which I had explained? Okay, so we'll derive the formula for the Gauss divergence theorem. And one question in midterm will be there. And in the next week, I'll take one surprise test which will be included in your midterm mark. So how much I have taught to you, that will be added, and not a surprise test on the next schedule on next Friday. That is not this Friday, on the coming Friday, I'll take one surprise test. Not surprise, now it is not a surprise, so I had already told to you. So be ready with that test, and this mark will be included in your midterm paper. So I don't know how, when this situation will get normal and when it will get open. So I will include this number. So if midterm will happen or not happen, that does not depend on this. If so I will add that marks and I will make 20. So if midterm 1 will be there, midterm 2 will be there, and 2 test will be there. So I'll break it into 5. 5, 5, and 5. And according to that, I will send the number. So be ready in the next week on coming Friday. On coming Friday, whichever will be the date, you will be having one test. Whatever I have taught you, whatever is there in your notebook, from that only. So it will be an online test and live online test. You need to solve and you need to just give the answer. Which whatever I will ask to you, you need to solve, and in the given time, you need to solve that problem. So now after that, I'll derive the Gauss divergence theorem. What is the mathematical formula for Gauss divergence theorem? So that I will derive. So basically, mathematical divergence theorem can be how we can express that. So basically, it will be expressed like this: P dot ds equal to, so what is this? This is the surface integration of function. Wherever there is ds, we can conclude that there is surface integration of the function. And what is this? This is the volume integration divergence of the function. Volume integration divergence of the function. Since it is denoted by dv, we can conclude that this is volume integration, and it is denoted by ds, so we call it as surface integration. And del dot p, what we call it, this thing will be known as rate of change of flux. This is known as rate of change of flux. So this is the mathematical formula for, and this is what we call it as Gauss divergence theorem. This is the mathematical formula for Gauss divergence theorem. So this is the, if you are not, if you cannot see it clearly, I'll write here also P dot ds equal to, this is basically the formula for Gauss divergence theorem. So if somebody will ask you where we will use the Gauss divergence theorem, so you can tell them like that it is used to understand the electromagnetic. Without this, electromagnetic is incomplete. It is used to understand the flow of field, the flow of various field like electric field, magnetic field, how the field is flow, how the field is transferring from one place to another place. So with the help of this Gauss divergence theorem, we can understand the flow of fields. We can understand electromagnetic. It is used in application of fluid mechanics also. Fluid mechanics is another stream. So there also you can use that Gauss divergence theorem. It is used in aerodynamics. So in many ways we can use this Gauss divergence theorem. So, and it is very important also. So now you have seen the formula. Now we are going to solve a problem based on that. And this problem has asked in your paper only. So I'll solve one problem. So never get, कभी भी परेशान नहीं होना अगर सवाल ज्यादा लंबा हो जाए तो, मतलब बस we need to understand the step. If we can understand the step, we can easily solve any kind of problem. So never run away from understanding any step. No problem is complicated. Every problem has some क्या बोलते हैं, everybody has some weak point. Like that only, every problem has some weak point. If you catch that weak point, you can solve any kind of problem. So better try to understand and do practice how much time you can do. So practice will make you better. So the problem was like that. So it was the question. If so, please write, everybody please write the question, because I need to remove that question because this is problem is large. Everybody please write the question. So this I cap x means x direction. I'm talking about the x direction of x in the x direction. I cap y means y direction. So if you are not familiar with that, please be. So this is what direction will be represented by I cap y, I cap x, I cap z means in the z direction. I'm denoting about the z direction. So the problem was like that: if f equal to xy in the x direction, yz in the y direction, and zx in the z direction, and a was given as b1, b was given as 3, c was given as 2, and they wanted you to determine so dv was there. So basically what they wanted you to calculate, they wanted you to calculate volume integration of function. The first problem was like that, and second problem, they wanted you to calculate the surface integration. So how they will represent surface integration of the problem. So see, Gauss divergence means this both volume integration and surface integration should be equal. If it is not equal, Gauss divergence theorem is not possible. So when I was deriving the formula, I have shown you that the denotation was equal to, means surface integration was equal to volume integration. So both sides will be equal. If I'm getting here 1, I should get here 1. Then only this formula, then only the problem is correct. You have solved the problem correct. So in the both the case, the both things should be equal. And third part, was there verify Gauss divergence theorem. So how we will verify if the both question will be solved and if both value will be same, the Gauss divergence theorem will be verified. So this was the problem. If f equal to xy in the x direction, yz in the y direction, and zx in the z direction, and you are given a equal to 1, b equal to 3, and c equal to 10, and you need to calculate what is the volume integration of that function and surface integration of that function. So and verify the divergence theorem. If both will be same, then we can easily verify the divergence theorem. So let's start how to solve this problem. So I'll start this. So I need to remove this. So in the last class, if you have seen, I have calculated divergence theorem. I have given you the divergence theorem formula, and I had shown you how to calculate the divergence theorem. So you just need to apply that formula for calculating the volume integration of the function. So what I will do, so first of all, you need to calculate the divergence of the function. So how to calculate, if you will see in the last class lecture, I have shown you how to calculate the divergence of a function. So formula which I have given you as del fx upon del x plus del fy upon del y plus del fz upon del z. So fx means we are talking about the x coordinate, fy means we are talking about the y coordinate, fz means we are talking about the z coordinate. So this was the basically formula which I have given you. So now what I have to do, I have to just substitute this value. This was our problem, xy plus yz plus zx. So this was our problem. So I just need to substitute this value here. So what I will do, after substituting, what I will get here? So I will get del by del x. In place of fx, what I will put? I'll put there xy. And after that, del by del y. In place of fy, what I will put? Yz, which is given in the question. Now, next term. In place of that fz, what I will put? I'll put here zx. Now I need to apply here partial differentiation, and everybody is aware of partial differentiation. So since it is del by del x and x term is there, so it will get differentiated. So x, when you will differentiate x, what you will get? 1. So 1 into y term will be like same only. So since we are talking about del by del y, the y term will get differentiated and it will become 1. And what other term will get? Here z will be same. After that, we'll apply this partial differentiation on this term. So del z is there, so z term will become 1, and we'll get here x. So what is the term which you are getting? So y plus z plus x. So this thing I have told, I had shown you to calculate this thing in the previous class only. So you just need to apply this divergence theorem formula. After applying the divergence theorem formula, you need to calculate volume integration of that function. So our next step will be like that. So volume integration of del dot. So first of all, we need to know how x is varying from which place to x varies from 0 to 1, because in the problem itself it is given that a equal to 1. So a is what? A is for the x value. So x varies from 0 to 1. So what is the value of b given? B equal to 3. So the y varies from 0 to 3. Now we'll calculate of z. The value of c is given as 2. So how z will vary? Z will vary from 0 to 2. So we are aware of the fact that these all things are varied. So is it clear up to there? Now we need to apply here three integration. We just we need to apply the integration here and we'll calculate the value. So if it is clear to you, so how to calculate the volume integration? Just see here. So what we are getting here? So to calculate volume integration, so z is varying from 0 to 2, y is varying from 0 to 3, x is varying from 0 to 1. And what we are getting here, y plus z plus x dx dy dz. We'll put these things like that only. Now we need to differentiate. So first we'll differentiate this x term. After that we'll take y term, and after that we'll take z term. So see. So first we'll take that x. So we'll write as it is for the z, and y will write as it is 0 to 2, 0 to 3. Now we need to differentiate the x term. So here no x is there. We'll integrate the x term. So what will come here? Yx plus zx, no x is there, plus we are integrating with respect to x. So what I will get here, x square by 2, and the limit is from 0 to 1 dy dz. dy dz. So when you will solve it, what you will get here? When you will solve it, you will get 0 to 2, 0 to 3. This when you will apply 1 here and 0 here, what you will get? Y plus z plus 1 by 2 dy dz. So that term is calculated. This term is over. Now I will integrate with the respect of y. So this value I need to integrate 0 to 3. So I'll write 0 to like this only, and I'll put the value of y there. So what will become? It will become y square by 2 plus zy plus y by 2, and I'll put the limit from 0 to 3 dz. After putting the limit, what I will get here? 0 to 2, 9 by 2 plus 3z plus 3 by 2 dz. So this is what we are getting. So now the next term. Now the next term. Now last part, what I need to integrate about the z term. So what I will get here? So 9 by 2, and this 9 by 2 and 3 by 2 will get calculated, and it will be like 6z. So what I will get here? 0 to 2, 3z plus 6 dz. So I'll integrate it with respect to z. So what I'll get here? 3z square by 2 plus 6z, 0 to 2 limit. After calculating this, after putting this, substituting this value, what I will get? 6 plus 12 equal to 18. So first of what I have calculated, the volume integration of that function, first part, and this question itself contains 3 number. So third 3 part is there, and it will have 7 or 8 marks, and this part will be of 3 numbers. So you will score 3 marks easily. Just you need to apply the basic mathematics things and you'll get easily. So if you have any doubt in this integration or how I had solved those problem, please ask me. If you have any kind of doubt how I had solved the first part of this problem, please ask me. So is it clear to everybody how I had solved it? No, sir. Where Shubham? Where is the doubt? Where you have not got? Shubham, what is the difficulty you are facing? Clear hai?
I was saying no doubt.
No doubt, right? Like that, na? No doubt. No, sir.
Sorry, sir.
चलो ठीक है. वॉल्यूम इंटीग्रेशन निकालने आ गया अपने को. इफ यू हैव नॉट रिटन इन योर कॉपी, प्लीज राइट इट, और आई विल पोस्ट द वीडियो इन द कॉलेज वेबसाइट ऑल्सो. यू कैन, इफ यू वांटेड टू you can get it from there also. So every video which I am taking the class here, I'll post there also. So if you have not attended the class, or if you have not understand anything, you can view from you can see the video from there, but attendance in the class is necessary. So if somebody is not attending the class, and if he or she is later he or she is saying that I had watched all the video, so no use. So you need to be attending in the class, and after that, if you are facing any kind of difficulty, you can see the video there also. So see, first part is over. First part is simple also. You can, so whenever they will ask you to calculate volume integration, you just need to apply just basic things in that problem, and you will find that. So see, now I'll go for the second part. So second part is a bit complicated. So you just need to be attentive. So see, the question was like that. I'm just making the figure so that you can understand it easily. So value of A was lying here, B was lying here, and C was lying here. So and value of A was given as 1, B was given as 2, and C was given as 3. So this was the cuboid basically, and the question was given like that, and you needed to calculate the volume integration of divergence of the function, and after that, and second part was that you need to calculate the surface integration of the function. So see, for surface integration of that function, you need to calculate the every surface which you are looking in this figure. So see, first of all, one surface is this one. If I'll mark with red pen, so see, first surface is what? This surface. This is what our first surface. This is our first surface. So first I will apply our surface integration in this part. And what is our next surface which we are showing in the figure is our next surface C. This is our, if I'll use other pen, this is our second surface. This. So total of 6 surface is there. I'll show you where. This is our second surface. Second. Now third surface C, this part. This is our third surface. Third. See, fourth surface, I have not made figure in a good way. This part will come in that also. This will become our fourth surface. When I will solve the problem, I'll solve in a good way. This is our fourth surface. Now, see, fifth surface is this one. Fifth one is this. And sixth one is, this whole is second. So let us take only first surface. So I'll remove all other surface. First of all, I am talking about first surface, and we'll see one by one how it is working. So see, first of all, I am talking about this surface. This first surface. Sorry. This surface. I'm talking about this surface. So I'll solve the problem for that surface only. So just see here how I'm solving it. So in this part, if you'll see, the value of x is what? X is equal to a equal to 1. How x has become 1? See, we are talking about this part. This. So in this section, this is our x value. This. So what is the value of x here? Here it is given 1. And what is the direction of x? In this direction only. So what is the value of x? X is equal to a equal to 1. And when we are taking the value of x, dx will become 0. So after that, how y is varying? Y is varying from 0 to 3, as it is given in the question. Why? Because y x is constant here, because x is fixed here only. Up to that value only x is there. So I'm taking only x value up to 1. But for the y value, it is varying. It's going like that. So what I will put the value of y here? 0 to 3. For the value of z, if we'll talk about z value, this one, z value will be from, इसकी value 3 है, इसकी value 2 थी. Z will vary from 0 to 2. So if you'll write this coordinate, you can solve the problem in very easily. And what is the direction? Direction will be in the x direction. So since it is an x direction, how to find the surface integration? Formula for surface integration is ds equal to dy dz, and direction is always in the direction will be the x direction. So you just need to substitute the value of there. So how to find that ds? Ds will be f dot ds for surface integration. We know that this formula, and this will be limit of dy is 0 to 2, limit of dz, sorry, 0 to 3, limit of dz is 0 to 3, and since it is xy, so in the question already for the first value, if you'll see the question, f equal to given as xy I cap x. So since it is the direction is I cap x, we are talking about xy. What I will write here, xy dy dz. How I have written here xy? See, because since it is I cap x, the direction is I cap x. So in the question only, if you will see f is equal to xy x direction, yz y direction, z x in the z direction. So since I am talking about the x direction, what I will substitute here? I will substitute xy here. Xy. So just you need to solve the integration. What you will get here? 1 into y square by 2. Limit will be from 0 to 3 to 0. And after solving that, we will get here 9. So first part, surface integration of the first part is 9. So if you are having any doubt in this, please ask me, because this thing will be applied for 6th part. I will solve the problem. This is our first part only, and this will be done for the 6th time, because 6 surface is there. I'll show you where the first I have shown you the first surface. Now after this, I'll repeat कर दूंगा. देखिए, ये मैंने x इक्वल टू a इक्वल टू 1 इसलिए लिया है. मैं वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस सरफेस, दिस सरफेस. सो सी, इस सरफेस में यहाँ तक x आपका फिक्स है. x इज फिक्स हियर. सो व्हाट आई विल राइट हियर इज x इक्वल टू a इक्वल टू 1. तो जब अगर हम x की बात करेंगे तो हमेशा dx 0, जिसकी भी बात करेंगे उसकी वैल्यू 0 लिख देंगे आप यहाँ पे. तो क्या अगर x की बात करें तो यहाँ पे क्या लिख देंगे? dx इक्वल टू 0. अब देखिए, अब ये जो स्क्वायर बनाया मैंने, ये स्क्वायर में देखिए क्या हो रहा है. x तो कांस्टेंट है आपका, y क्या हो रहा है? वेरी कर रहा है. y आगे वेरी कर रहा है. कहाँ से कहाँ वेरी कर रहा है? 0 से 3 वेरी कर रहा है. फिर z को देखिए, z भी क्या कर रहा है? वेरी कर रहा है. ये z वेरी कर रहा है. z कहाँ से कहाँ वेरी कर रहा है? 0 to 2 वेरी कर रहा है. Now what you need to do? You need to do substitute. You are knowing the formula for surface integration. So ds will represent surface integration. So surface integration will dy dz I cap x. y dy dz, क्योंकि dy वेरी, dx तो ऑलरेडी 0 है, इसलिए यहाँ पे 0 नहीं लिख सकते हम. dy वेरी कर रहा है, dz वेरी कर रहा है, और डायरेक्शन किधर है? x की तरफ डायरेक्शन है. We're talking about the x direction. So what I will write here? I cap x. So dy dz को ऐसे ही लिख दिए. ये xy कहाँ से आया? अगर आप प्रॉब्लम में देखेंगे तो प्रॉब्लम इज स्टार्टेड लाइक दैट. f is equal to xy I cap x. So since I am talking about the x direction, what I will write here? xy. So xy will be written directly here, और ये dy dz ऐसी रहेगा. फिर हमको इंटीग्रेट करके वैल्यू निकाल देना है. I will tell you one more time. See, if I will take this surface I am mentioning about. In this surface, the value of x is fixed. यहाँ तक फिक्स हो गया है. So x, whatever I am taking x as a 1, or when I am taking x as a 1, value of dx will be 0. Automatically it will become 0. After that, I'll see y value. So y value already it has given the problem that it is varying from 0 to 3. So I have written here it is varying from 0 to 3. Now the value of z is, it is varying from 0 to 2. So I have written here 0 to 2. Now I need to apply the formula for this. So dx is 0, so I can't write here dx. dy dz, I have written the value for dy dz, and direction I need to mention it. So direction will be in the x direction. So I'll write here I cap x. So what it will become? So since I am talking about y I cap x, I'll take this xy from here and I will substitute it here. So after substituting this, you just need to apply the formula for integration. You just need to solve the integration problem and your answer will come. So 9 is the answer. अगर अभी भी दिक्कत है तो बताइए. Okay, abhi second part, if I'll make you to understand the second part, first part will be already clear. So this is the first part. Nikhil, दिक्कत है? Okay, so let's see how to solve the second part. So see, that was the figure. Figure was like that only. So first cuboid was like that, and second cuboid was made like this. Now this second surface integration I was talking about. First was like that. See, first was like that. That was our first problem which we had solved. Second was this one. This one was our second surface. So now for second surface, for this surface we are talking about this now. We solve problem for this surface. First we had already solved. So for this surface I'm talking about. So for in this surface, so see if you'll see the value for x, what is x? X is equal to 0. Since x is fixed here, no movement of x. So what I will write? X equal to 0. So if the value of x is 0, dx will be automatically 0. Whatever the value of, if we'll take x, if I suppose if I have taken here y, so I'll write here dy equal to 0. So if I have taken here z, so I'll write here dz is equal to 0. So this is the basic thing you need to remember. So since I have taken the value of x, since I am taking, so the x equal to a equal to 0 because x is fixed here. We are talking about this surface. Earlier x was here, this side, so we have taken one value. Now x is here at this point. So what I will take? X equal to 0. So now dx will become 0. After that, what will the value of y? Y will vary from 0 to 3. Y is varying from 0 to 3. And what will the value for z? Z is varying from 0 to 2, which we are already aware of that. So what I will do here, I'll write here ds equal to dy dz I cap x. I'll write that. So since dx equal to 0, I need to substitute the formula for that. What we are knowing that f dot ds equal to 0. That is the surface integration formula. So you are getting it now. So what I need to put the f. So see, after that you need to substitute the values. So after that, so since x equal to 0, dx equal to 0. So after what was given in the question was already given that xy cap I cap x. So x value is already 0 here. So what you will get finally? Finally the answer will be 0. In this case surface integration will be 0 because x is already 0 here. If x is 0 here, if you will multiply 0 into any quantity, what will become? 0. Second part is calculated. Second part, what you will get? For surface integration of second part, second surface, we are getting the value for second surface is 0. Is this clear? Second surface is clear how I am getting the value 0 here. Is it clear to you? Since the value of x is 0, x is constant here, x is not varying here. So value of x is 0. So if the value of x is 0, if you will put the limit and we will integrate, so I'll take here xy. Since it is 0, I'll multiply with 0, any value, what will I get? I'll get 0 here. So second part is clear. So now whatever I have got, first part I have got 9, second part 0. So second part is over. Now I'll go for third one. See, now I'm talking about this part, this third part. This is our third surface. So I'll solve the problem for this part. So you need to follow those steps for third part. Now this will become fourth. Now this will become fifth. This will become sixth. ऐसे ही 6 बार लगाएंगे फॉर्मूला. जो भी वैल्यू आएगी सबको जोड़ देंगे. आंसर आ जाएगा अपना। बस यही कॉम्प्लिकेशन है इसमें और कुछ नहीं है। सो इफ यू आर एबल टू फाइंड फर्स्ट सेकंड, यू विल इजीली फाइंड थर्ड पार्ट। टू सी हाउ टू फाइंड द थर्ड पार्ट, टू सी। So for third part, if you'll draw the figure in your copy, आप शायद फिगर अच्छा से बनाए होंगे, कॉपी में बनाइएगा, मेरे से बन नहीं रहा है। So for third part, you will see here y will be fixed. This is our y direction. So y is fixed here. Y will be fixed here. What is the value of y? Y equal to b equal to 3. Earlier in the x part, जैसे x की value 1 I fixed थी, वैसी now this part y will be fixed here. Y equal to b equal to 3. And value of x is varying. So from where x is varying? From 0 to 1. And value of z is varying from 0 to 2. Now just substitute the formula ds equal to dx dz I cap y. So now for the y direction I'm talking about. So see, in the question only, what is the value for I cap y was given. It was given as yz. Yz was given as, so I'll put the limit here 0 to 2, 0 to 1, yz dx dz. So integrate with respect to y. After integrating with respect to y, what you will get here? 3 into z square by 2, 0 to 2. You will get 6. So meeting will get over in 5 minutes. So what is the task for you is, like the third part which I've calculated here, you need to calculate it for all the 6 parts. For this part also you need to calculate for the fourth part. After that, one figure will be there like that, fifth part, sixth part. So for fourth part, what will become? Value of y will become 0 and all the values will become 0. Now for the fifth part, what we will see? We'll see the z will vary and all the other the value of z will be fixed. Z equal to c equal to 2 for fifth part, and for the fifth part, and from there you can calculate z equal to 3, and for the sixth part z will become 0. Likewise for the fourth part y has become 0. So when you will add all those values, you will get 18 there. So this is homework for all of you. You complete these questions, and after that we'll see in the next class. So like how I have solved the first, second, third part, same thing you need to apply for fourth, fifth and sixth part. And after solving this, you just need to add those values. Whatever you are getting the value for volume integration as 18, so surface integration will definitely come 18. When those both values will be equal, we can verify the divergence theorem easily. So what we'll write there, that divergence theorem is easily verified because surface integration of the function is equal to the volume integration of the function. So we had, in the first problem, we had already find how to solve the volume integration of the problem. In this part, for the surface integration, total of 6 surface is there. So I had told you how we can solve I had solved 3 surface there. You need to find 4th, 5th and 6th surface. And in the next class, I will ask. So if you are having any kind of other doubt, please ask me. Relevant in this class or in any class, if you are having any kind of doubt in this problem, or so please, everybody, I'm giving you a homework. You need to solve this problem for fourth, fifth, and sixth part, and you need to verify the divergence theorem in this problem, because this problem will definitely come. This type of problem will be there in your midterm paper. Definitely, it will be there. So go and do the practice on this problem, and if you face any kind of problem, please ask me. So today's session is over. We'll meet in the next session. I'll share the schedule for whenever will the next session. जब भी अगली क्लास होगी मैं शेड्यूल शेयर कर दूंगा. तो आज के लिए इतना ही बस. So everybody, meeting is going to get over. We'll meet in the next class.